Okay, hey guys. Hey Maureen. Always the first one on here. It's amazing. Can you please give me a sound check just to make sure all the sound is good and you can see everything okay? And we'll jump straight into it. Hey Val! Yay! Okay, so we have a couple of people on already, so I am just gonna jump straight into it. Hey Lil, nice to see you on here. Okay, so Val, you can see Valerie and it says /drawing with fire. Val is the one that I am doing this collaboration piece with, and I will quickly show you. If you want to check out her page, then just head over to Valerie Connell Drawing with Fire. Her YouTube channel looks like that. So if you see that, then you know you are on the right page. And we are both drawing this reference that Val took of this adorable bear cub. He's still a teenager, I think Val said. Val can give you the quick little brief rundown of this little guy. And yeah, so next week sometime, maybe, or maybe even the week after, we will have our collaboration video up where we will show you both pieces together, and then we'll be able to talk a bit more about the collaboration. So the supplies that we used in this for this was our Zested Pencil Blender, our Prismacolor Premier pencils, and sorry, the supplies that I'm using in this piece, not the supplies Val's using. Val is using watercolor paper, I think she said, and she's using her fire tool to burn the bear into the paper. Okay, so the supplies we used yesterday and we'll still use today is the Zested Blender pencil blend, our Prismacolor Premier pencils, and our Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. The Prismacolor pencils are wax-based pencils and they work amazing along with the oil-based pencils, and both of them blend beautifully with the solvent, so that's why they're good to use together. The paper we ended up using was the Fabriano Artistico watercolor paper. It's a 200 GSM hot press paper. I don't use cold press paper. I find the cold press paper is more textured and it takes longer to get your layers done. So the hot press paper seems to do a better trick. If you do end up with cold press paper, then maybe just make sure that you flip the paper to the other side, the side with the smoother side, and then you should be good to go. We also use tissue paper for blending. I'm not sure how much we'll do that today, but we'll see. Maybe we will. And we haven't used any fixative yet. We probably won't have to until the end. And then for the stars and all the real white highlights, we use the 0.7mm Uniposco white paint marker. Okay, so that was the supplies, and now we are going to start with the bear and the planet. So before I actually do the bear, I'm going to do the planet that the bear is sitting on. And the easiest way for us to sort of find our colors is by using our swatches. So I will use the swatches for this, and that will also give you guys an idea, for those that don't use swatches, how to find your colors. So I have swatches like this, and like I've said yesterday as well, these swatches are available for free on my Patreon page. I also have some blank templates that you guys can print for if you have different kinds of pencils to what I have. Okay, so now I am just going to compare them to the reference. So there's lots of purple tones, really dark purple tones. So, and these purples are so dark, in fact, that I'll be mixing them up with my indigo blue and my black. So I already know that I want indigo blue, so I'm going to use PC 901. This beautiful, really dark purple is number 132. Here we go. It is dioxine purple hue. We're asking about the solvent that I'm using. I'm using Zested solvent. You do not have to have the same solvent as I do. You can also use Gamsol, because I know Zested isn't easy to get your hands on if you're in the US. Zested is mainly from the UK, I think. So you could use Gamsol, or you could use any odorless mineral spirits or solvent. I say odorless because you don't want to inhale all those fumes. Even though you're still inhaling the fumes, you just can't smell it. But anyway. Yep, Gamsol odorless mineral spirits is perfect, Maureen. Thanks for the suggestion. Okay, so now I also want to use number 996, which looks, yep, 996, which is black grape, PC 996. And then these nice beautiful colors over here, oh, definitely number 1009. That is Dahlia Purple, PC 1009. And along the black, I always use my Polychromos black. You can use your Prismacolor black. I find I like the Polychromos black because it doesn't get such a thick, waxy layer on so quickly. So I think that's just personal preference. And then let's see if there's anything on our Polychromos swatches that we like. So all those really bright purples are mainly in the Prismacolor set. So I'm just going to stick to the Prismacolor pencils for that. So I have found that the main pencil set that I've been using for this tutorial is most definitely the Prismacolor pencils. Okay, so I'm just going to put some of these other pencils away. I didn't put the pencils from yesterday away. Actually, I'll just leave them on the side because we might want to add a bit more to the background. We'll see as we go. Okay, and then we'll come back to finding the colors in the bear later. Let's first stick to the planet. So I'm always paying attention to my reference photo. If you want to download the reference photos, you can do so for free on Patreon, and you can find them there. When I say you can download these until I finish this live stream, or actually you can download them until I have put up the collaboration video with Val. After that, only patrons will get access to these live streams, just to let you guys know. Okay dokes, so now I want to start with a dark shadow right under the bear. So I know that a lot of people have trouble with this, where they have trouble with the transition between the dark shadows into the bear. And the trouble is that it's hard to make it look like a transition and a shadow and not a distinctive sort of outline when you're creating a shadow. So this is where layers are very important as well. So using Indigo Blue PC 901, I am just going to start coloring in directly underneath the bear. And I always use small little circular motions so that I don't create sort of linear streaks. And I'm always using a light hand. I do not press firmly. So the entire planet is quite dark. It's just the sides that are highlighted in a nice bright pink purple tone. So it's very dark under the entire chest area of the bear. So don't be afraid to bring the dark color up there. And then this entire paw is pretty much hidden, so I'll maybe provide a hint that it's there later on when we start adding layers to the bear. That we're doing the same bear, Maureen, but Val is doing her bear's on a rocky sort of lake-like surface, I think. Or Val will explain it to you anyways. So she's doing rocks and water and that. Ooh. Yeah, that sounds very nice. But Val's got a lot more work to do on hers than I do on mine. Hers is a bit bigger and it's more time consuming what she's doing, I think. Yeah. Oh, I'm using my dioxazine purple hue, PC132. I'm going to go over the blue that I just put down. You okay? You wanna lie down? Mm-hmm. Okay, now I'm going to come in with the black because I know it's going to be really dark. And now that I've added blue and purple, the black's not going to look as flat. So I'm using my Polychromos black, number 199. Okay, using the Dahlia Purple PC1009. I'm going to add in those nice purples. Come lie down. Lie down. Lie down, Taylor. Thank you. Taylor won't be knocking down the backdrop today. I don't see it behind Sheldene. Yep, I didn't even bother. They have to see me, or they have to be so close to me. And they squeeze their way through. So I've got Taylor by my feet and Honey is right behind me. Hello. But I felt so bad. She got such a fright yesterday. Poor thing. And then she just stares at it forever. It's like, is it magically going to disappear now? Okay, so now I'm going to try and blend that smooth and then carry on from there. I will use a piece of tissue to blend that smooth actually, because it's such a big area. So all you do is you take a piece of tissue paper and you fold it into a square and then a triangle, and then you use that tip and place it in your solvent, and then you start working the areas. It's a good way for you to see if you've gone dark enough or not. But also the base layer shouldn't be dark enough when you first blend it, because the whole idea about layering is to build up those layers. This is such a fun part, making that real textured look disappear. Then you can work some of those colors into the bear, into where you can see the bear's got shadow, and then that's going to make the transition look very smooth. You don't have to give a thumbs up. Yeah, the tissue does make it look really smooth. I just like having a thumbs up in the beginning of the stream to make sure that the audio in that is good. I'm using the excess on my tissue to work in those darker layers that I know are going to be underneath the bear's chin. Oh, thank you. Yes, I would appreciate a thumbs up to the video. Okay, so it looks like a blurry bit of a mess right now, but that's normal for your first layer. But we can already establish 2 points of light, which is good. Isn't that cool? We just used 3 colors to make that effect. 4 colors, if you include black. Okay, now we're going to darken some of the areas up again, so using the indigo blue. I wonder if Marie's going to be on today, because she sent me an amazing reference of her cat, and because I want to sort of stick to the galaxy theme for next week's live stream, I decided to incorporate a galaxy with her reference of her cat Ziggy, but I need to check with her if she likes it or not, because I haven't heard from her again. So I'll just make sure with Marie that it's all good before I really confirm things. If not, then I'll change it up. I might use the Marie did give me permission to draw it, so I'm sure it won't be a problem. But yeah. Is Ronnie on here? Because Ronnie put some amazing photos that she took of a kookaburra. And she caught the kookaburra just as it caught a lizard. Apparently it fell out of the tree to catch this lizard, but it managed to get it. And yeah. I don't want to draw the dead lizard in the mouth, but I'm thinking maybe, because the photo of the kookaburra is so good, I might put something else in its mouth. Or maybe turn the dragon into a little lizard or something. I mean the lizard into a little dragon. I need to have a look. But I do want to incorporate your photos, more of your photos, my followers and patrons, into the tutorials. Hi David. Thank you. Maureen's saying that Jacqueline asked a question about the difference between using tissue paper versus a brush to blend. I use the tissue paper just to block in a really large area, so it's faster. That's it. And the tissue gives a really smooth result and immediately takes away the texture of the paper. So it does use up your solvent quicker than a brush would though. So that's just something to keep in mind, because it absorbs it really quickly and it dries really quick. But apart from that, it makes the whole area look really smooth, and it just blocks in a bigger area quicker. I would use a brush for smaller details, but if I want to block in a large area quickly and I'm not worried about detail, or control, then I just use a piece of tissue. It's very effective if you're doing a background. So if you're doing a really large background that's got a lot of greens or a lot of oranges or whatever, it's just easy to block in those colors first before you add the details, and then it goes even faster if you blend it in with a tissue paper. It might even be really great to experiment it with skin tones and see how well it blends skin tones, how smooth it blends the skin tones. Okay, for this real bright area, I want to add a bit of the processed red, PC994. Hi, Clarice. Yep, streaming today as well. Got to finish this bear off. Let's add a bit of the black grape, PC996. And then again with the black. Oh, someone's at the door. Okay, I'm back. Let me just catch up on some questions quickly. Reese is asking, will I be streaming tomorrow as well? No, I will not be streaming tomorrow. So tomorrow is Saturday, and I'm just going to spend some time with family tomorrow. So I need to get this one finished today, which I will. Thanks, Maureen. Yeah, I just got a package. Jamie's asking if I've done pastel work. Yes, I have done a bit of pastel work. I did a self-portrait not that long ago, but I didn't record the process because I was still experimenting because I don't have that much experience in pastels. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the one that I did in pastels. So I use pan pastels and I use pastel pencils. I don't like the pastel pencils that I use because it felt very sort of grainy on the inside, and it didn't feel that good. But apart from that, I did enjoy using pastels, and I really love using it for skin tones. So that's about the experience that I have in pastels. Yes, doorbell, and if the doorbell goes, the dogs go crazy, and yeah, she's a very, very good alarm. She's a very friendly, loving dog, but her bark tends to scare anybody off. And it's so funny because her hackles go up so far that the ridge on her back looks like it starts from her tail and goes all the way to the top of her head. You can't tell where her ridge ends when her hackles go up. It's funny. Okay, So what I got in the mail, I don't know if some of you may have seen on my Facebook page. Actually, I should post it to my drawing page. I think I only posted it to my personal page. But I took some amazing photos of the moon. And so on our 6-year anniversary, my boyfriend bought me an amazing telescope as a gift. And you can see every crater and every detail of the moon. It is insane. And I try to take pictures a little bit with using my phone, and it's so hard because if you just tap the telescope by a millimeter, it moves the entire thing off. So you really cannot really touch the telescope when you're trying to take photos. And then because you're trying to balance your hand over the telescope accurately, and then your phone still has to focus, it's so hard to take a picture. So what I just got in the mail now is a proper adapter that and because my iPhone is so big, because I got the iPhone 7 Plus, it's hard to position the cameras properly. So I got a casing for the phone, and it attaches directly onto the telescope, and I've got the Bluetooth button that can take the pictures for me and focus and everything for me. So I'm so excited to use that. Although I need to, hopefully I'm lucky enough to do that tonight. I know that's totally off topic, but I'm really, really excited about it. Okay, right, let's get back into that. Let me actually check what pastel pencils I used that I didn't like. I used... Okay, Krita Color, that's the brand. It's too hard to get it out from under where it was. Krita Color pastel pencils that I used, and I didn't like them at all. So Carbothello sounds good, and I heard that the Faber-Castell pastel pencils are also really, really good. I love Faber-Castell. Their quality in everything they do is amazing. Right, so I was adding black. Actually, I might be able to show you those photos of the moon just here. Here's one. So I took that from my phone with the telescope that we had. Isn't that so cool? You can see everything. It's amazing. So now that I've got a proper adapter, I won't have to struggle so much just to get one good shot. So it's going to be pretty cool. Yes, I remember to record. Thank you. I'm getting much better at it. Okay, so I'm going to be upfront with you guys, and I know that I need to change something. I have been losing a lot of patrons, and I'm guessing that it's because I'm not putting something on often enough. I'm only doing a live stream on the second week of every month and a stream on the third week. So the second and third week of every month is the only time that I'm posting video tutorials on Facebook. I mean on Patreon. I've been losing more patrons than I've been getting, and I'm just assuming that my channel is just not enough anymore. So I want to try and incorporate a few more things, and I'm guessing that my best option might be to do something every single week. Things have died down a little bit with the workshops because it's getting towards that time of the year. I haven't arranged anymore, so I've got one more workshop this month, and then I don't have any more until next year. So it does give me the opportunity to spend a bit more time on my Patreon page. So now, yesterday we briefly discussed doing a week for patrons where we go through the process of drawing domestic animals, and the whole point of that would be for those that are trying to get to the point where they do their own commissions and start selling their own work, or promoting themselves doing domestic animals. Because when you're doing commissions, 98% of the time it's people that want their animals drawn. We can probably start doing portraits as well, but I need to come up with some more ideas to have my patrons stick around a bit longer, because Patreon is my main source of income, so it's important to me that I do what I need to do to keep it going. Clarice wants a photo. Okay, I'll post the photos to Patreon. Maybe I should use my own moon photo and put something on there. Put a UFO on there. Yeah, I know what you're saying, Jamie. And I seriously need to upgrade on my computer. My Mac is 9 years old now, and it really struggles with the software that I'm using. So for me to upload a video, I have to wait like 10 seconds or 15 seconds for one video clip to just register in the software that I'm using. So when I'm copying like 30 video clips over, it drives my mind completely crazy, because it takes too long to process things. And I can't be fast. I can do things fast, but I can't be fast because the software can't keep up with me. So my frustration levels when I'm editing videos is beyond crazy. But yeah, upgrading on a Mac computer is very expensive, and when you do an upgrade, you want to do it properly as well. You don't want to end up with the same problems, although I don't think you will now because of all the different Macs that have come out lately. But I cannot afford to upgrade. No ways. To get a proper Mac and to just have it with enough space on it is going to cost me almost $4,000, that's a crazy amount of money. That is so much money. But anyways, we'll get there. I can still put the content up that I need. It just takes a bit longer, that's all. Yeah, Jamie, I was thinking of doing something like that. So do a whole week, so Monday to Friday, and every day's stream would be a part of an animal. And then of course I'd also record it with my DSLR and put a proper edited version of the tutorial up. But if I'm going to do that, I'm going to have to make a whole new rewards here. So maybe $12 or $15 rewards here. And also with the $10 rewards here that I have going now, where I send postcard prints out in the mail every month, postage prices have gone up so much, but I haven't changed the price of that rewards here, so that's starting to catch up with me as well. I'm not going to change that price, don't worry, it will still stay $10. But if I'm going to add more content to my Patreon page, I'm going to have to add a different reward tier for the domestic animals, I think. I don't know. I wish I could just do it all for free. I just wish that no one needed money. But anyways, this is the way the world goes right now. Yeah, Colin is pretty good. Colin Bradley is really good. So I took note of him before I started drawing with pastels. I watched a couple of his videos to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, because pastels and normal pencils work quite differently. Okay, so that's looking really nice. Now I want to start adding some sort of shapes in there. So I'm going to use my white Prismacolor pencil. And create the illusion that there's sort of land on the planet. Four 4.4. I'm getting closer and closer to 30. My boyfriend and I are the same age, and the other day someone asked him for his date of birth and both of us had to think about how old we actually are right now. It was funny. Yes, Maureen, I agree. It's never ever too late. Okay, I'm gonna just use the tissue paper that I've already used. Just fold out another corner. Hey Christy! And then blend that in. I didn't dip it in any solvent. There should still be enough solvent soaked into the tissue paper. Okay. So the black is never as black as I'd like it, but I find that that's just the case with pencils, unfortunately. I will still add a bit more black and see if I can get it a bit darker. Okay, I'm gonna blend that in. Again, I didn't dip the tissue in anything. I'm just using the same one. That helps a bit more, doesn't it? Okay, so let's just leave it at that for now, and let's get started on the bear. So the eyes are teeny tiny. So I'm just gonna make sure I have a really sharp black pencil. And this one is 8 by 10 inches. Not quite as small as the last one. Okay. Excuse me. So I'm sort of just establishing an outline. Sorry, I need to remind myself to speak sometimes. I get so caught up that I just forget to talk. Sure. It's quite an old one. It's just a butterfly and the first initials of my 3 brothers. We've got Darren, Guddy, and Brent. That's it. And the butterfly is sort of a representation of me, I guess. I'm the eldest daughter. Well, I'm the only daughter, and I'm the oldest. Milky Way bars and starbursts. If I'm trying to establish a sort of shadow, I like to use little dots to sort of outline the shadow, so I could just identify where exactly that value is. So if you see me using dotted lines, then you know that I'm just establishing a shadow. Yeah, this is actually the first bear that I'm drawing as well. Okay, now I'm going to sort of just lightly work out the direction that the fur is going to go in different areas. in these shadowy bits you can now establish some pieces of fur. See how the transition is starting to, the transition from the shadow into the fur of the bear is looking natural. It's not looking like there's a divided line. There's a section here where the paw is, so you want to give a very slight indication that there's a back paw there. No worries, yes. See ya, good night. Clarice, that sounds good. I don't have much experience with acrylics either, but I did do a rose in a workshop a couple of months ago and I really loved using them, so I would experiment with them again. So now I'm going to use the black gray PC996, and I want to continue working on the darker values. At this point I'm not worried about details. I just want to get in the values. So at this point it's really handy to have a blurry reference, or you can sort of squint your eyes so that you're not looking at the details, you're just looking at the value. And then you can block in the underlayer quite easily, and then add the details over the top. Homie Brooke is asking, is a living shadow the same as a reflecting shadow? I don't know. I don't know what the difference is between a living shadow and a reflecting shadow. What is a living shadow? Let's look it up. So I know that, so I'm guessing you're thinking a living shadow is just a shadow of something, and then you've got a reflection. So the difference between a shadow and a reflection. Because a living shadow, according to Google, is an art piece where it gives you the assumption that the shadow is different from the body or can do its own thing. And then a reflecting shadow or reflection, you can see the qualities of the object that's being reflected. So it's not just black, you can still see details. Whereas a shadow, you can't see any details, you just see black, you just see an outline of it. Is that what you mean? Yeah. So reflecting shadow will still have qualities of the item reflected in it. And a living shadow, if you're doing it in a cartoon-like form, a living shadow is represented as if it moves on its own. Or if it's just a shadow, then it has no qualities of the reflection. It just shows a outline or silhouette of something. In painting, they said there was a living shadow, but it looked like a reflected shadow. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I need to sort of be in that situation to understand what you mean. You guys are making me want to try and burn as well. Are the tools expensive? I'll have to look into it. Okay, I want to use a fleshy tone like this, so light peach PC 927, just in the snout area here. Still not worried about any detail. So the face looks a bit like it's disappearing into the fur, but that's okay. Okay, so I want to find some colors in the bear. So I'll definitely be using indigo blue. 996. So 996, the color I just used, is going to be my main color. And then for the lighter tones, I might go with 1019 or whatever. No, for the lighter tones I'm going to go 1026, which is grade lavender. And then I'll use a bit of the black cherry as well, number PC 1078. Okay. So using the grade lavender PC 1026, I'm going to block in the rest of the bear. So this is our base colors. This is our foundation. So after this is when we start adding more detail. Okay, before I carry on, I want to just make the nostrils nice and dark. I don't want to lose them. Okay, now I'm going to blend that in with my brush. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to go with burning. I'm a very clumsy person. I drop things very easily. I wouldn't want a hole through my table, David. Or my carpet. Okay, so I'm using a small brush, and I dip the tip of the brush into my solvent, and then I have a piece of tissue which I just dab the excess off. And a small brush like this is going to give me more control. So I'm just going to gradually blend in all the colors that I just put down. And then when you blend like this and the texture of the paper slowly starts to go away, you get a good indication of your values, and it makes it easier for you to add the details afterwards. Clarice is asking, are you going to dress up your dogs for Halloween? Make Honey a bee. Honey a bee. That'd be so cute. I'd love to, but it's impossible to keep anything on them. If I put something on Honey, then Taylor helps her get it off. If I put something on Taylor, then Honey helps her get it off. So nothing stays on them. They'll just wiggle out of it. Unless I have a whole sort of outfit made for them, like their winter jackets, there's no way they're going to keep anything on. Plus, to be honest, we don't really celebrate Halloween. We try and just stay quiet because it's too stressful on the dogs. They get too agitated and worked up with so many people coming to the door, and all the excitement just, it's not a nice experience for them. So we don't really celebrate here. But in general, in Australia, the celebrations of Halloween it's not that huge. It's more in the US where it's extremely massive. But here in Australia, it's really not as big a deal. And Halloween seems to be more for the kids. Okay. Let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. There we go. That's so funny, Jamie. I should totally do that. What you been up to? Hmm? Let me see your face. Okay. So you see what a difference just creating a base layer like this makes? It's going to make it so much easier for when you start creating detail. You just have a very clear indication of which direction to go in. Okay, that's a great foundation for us to work on, and now we can start adding detail. Okay, I think I'm going to do my darkest values first, and I'm going to use the indigo blue. It's up to you how you work. Some people like to work from light to dark, or from dark to light, so it's really up to you. I vary. Sometimes I work from light to dark, and then sometimes I start off with the darker areas first. So it just, I guess, depends on how I feel. So using the indigo blue, PC901. This time when applying the indigo blue, I'm still going in the direction of the fur. Jerry's asking, do you ever do critiques of people's work? If not, have you considered that? Is that something for Patreon members or YouTube also? I would be interested in peer review or critiques. Just a thought. No, I don't critique people's work. It's hard for me to do that because I find value, so much value in any artwork, regardless of the fact that it may have been done what other people might think is a bad quality or a good quality. To me, I enjoy everything. It's extremely hard for me to critique something because in my eyes, every artwork that's attempted is something beautiful. So I can't be like, no, that's wrong or that's right. I struggle with that. I try and guide my patrons and say they could maybe add more detail or something, but I generally love everything that's created. So I probably won't do critiques. And to be honest, I don't like doing critiques. Yeah, I agree. And if you want critiques, a good one to follow is Lisa. Lisa does a lot of critiques, and she's got so many out on her YouTube channel that you could most certainly learn from. But yeah, I don't think I'll be doing critiques. Sorry. Clarice says that she wants to do a real-time work-in-progress video that would be about 12 minutes. Would that sound interesting to anybody? Clarice, are you creating your own Patreon? If you're just going to put it on YouTube, then I would advise you to do time lapses because people get really bored on YouTube. They usually want to see something within 30 seconds or a minute. But if you're going to be teaching it, then that would be great. You could do something that's going to take a little bit longer to get through. what might work is maybe if I redraw some of my really old drawings and then compare it and explain the difference. Maybe that'll help. Yes, Steph. I'll stick to 2 live streams because I need to do one for the people in the UK. But yeah, maybe shorter videos. See, it's so hard because when I do live streams like this, it gets uploaded straight to YouTube. When I try and edit my videos, my computer is a disaster. The software is so slow and it takes me a lifetime to edit a video that's only going to end up being 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm really struggling because I don't have a computer that can keep up with the software. So this is sort of why the live streams have taken over my Patreon channel, because it's the only way I can do proper tutorials without having to worry about all the editing and the time it takes to edit. It's not so much, I can edit quickly, it's just it takes so much time because my computer just can't keep up. It's so slow. Okay, I'm gonna move myself out of the video. You guys don't have to see me all the time. Especially because, yeah, I think most of you are just following along now, so you can just watch. Okay, so everything that I just done in blue, I'm going to cover all of that again using the black grape. So that's going to take the whole blue look away. And then I'll add a bit more with the grape as well. add a bit more of a darker purple, a bit darker than the real light one. So I'm going to add Parma Violet PC1008. And then I'm going to add the Grade Lavender PC1026. And then I'm going to blend it all in with my brush. Okay, so dipping my brush into my solvent and then dabbing any excess off onto a paper towel. I'm going to start blending. So while I blend, I'm still paying attention to my reference, because I can use my brush to manipulate the movement of the color a little bit more. I think my bear is going to be blue. I think I added way too much blue. Zeke says, I love how your background is seamless and blends from dark to transparent. Thank you. The background was really fun to do. It's actually pretty quick as well. Oh, I almost dipped that in my coffee. Should try and paint with coffee. I've seen that on Pinterest. That might be fun. Let me see your face. Have you been eating grass? Let me see. Okay, so my bear is totally blue, but that's okay. So if you end up making a mistake like this in your whatever you use, you end up using more of the wrong color than what you should have, I can show you how to fix it. Again, that's the best part about layering, is you have a lot of if you don't layer too thickly, then you've got room to manipulate those changes. It's my dog I'm talking to. They found a new hobby. So they grab a piece of grass and then they try and follow the root all the way to its end. And it just ends up being a big holy mess in the garden because we have kikuyu grass, so it has really long roots, and they just try and follow the root all the way through. And I don't know how to get out of them. And then it's like they wait for the grass to dry and then they'll chew on it and eat it. A husky, Malamute. Is that how you say it? That sounds like such a cool name. Malamute. I don't know what pounds are. I only know what kilograms are. So I'm guessing that's a big husky. Clarice is asking what is the most difficult subject that I have ever drawn, and I'd say any portraits I find difficult. Portraits are definitely a challenge because you have to get the features right. Animals, I don't struggle with animals because if you don't get the features 100% right, it's not as noticeable as what it is in a human. So, yeah, portraits is definitely the difficult one. See, I can understand why a Great Pyrenees would be 150 pounds, but a husky that big as well? That's crazy. Whoa. You're saying 70 kilograms? That's unbelievable. For a husky, is he crossed with a Great Dane or something? That's crazy. Unless it's a husky that's the size of a Pyrenees. That's just wow. I've drawn so many Pyrenees mountain dogs. I think that's the one breed I've drawn the most. Oh, now I get it, Val. Thanks for clarifying that. Wow. They're as big as wolves and pull sleds. Oh, wow. They'd be so beautiful. Okay, so now to change my bear from looking blue to not looking so blue. I'm going to use Black Cherry PC1078. And I'm going to keep my pencil very sharp. And now I'm going to start creating little pieces of tiny little strokes as if I was drawing the fur. So this is only in the darkest values. Okay, and where the highlighted areas are, I'm going to make sure that I have a very sharp Grade Lavender PC1026 pencil. And then when I come across these highlighted areas, I'm going to start creating those tiny pieces of highlighted fur. This berry is taking me a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. That's how it goes. Okay, I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna carry on with this on Monday next week, same time then. Let me just make sure I can do that, because this is still gonna take a while. So yep, I can carry on with this on Monday. And I'm sort of feeling like I need a little bit of a break from it now anyways. So it's starting a fresh day on it will, I think, will make me finish it off better. Ah, David, you have such a weird way of seeing the world. Oh, Vals saying she doesn't feel so bad now not being done. Yeah, I totally understand, Val, like seriously, because it takes a long time. You think something's gonna be quick, and like this bear's not that big. It's small. And it's still taking me a long time, so you can never really tell how long something's gonna take you. But yes, it's slowly starting to turn purple. So I want to look for salmon kind of color. So yeah. So using the peach PC939, I'm going to add some of this on the nose. Then using a bit of nectar, PC1092. Just work out some of those. Try and make the nose look semi-normal before I end this stream. Screen. Thanks, David, I agree. I'm using Venetian Red number 190. This is a polychromos pencil. I'm going to define the nostrils. That looks a smidge better. Just a smidge. And then using Light Peach PC927. So I'm going to go over some of the lighter parts of the forehead. That'll also help that blue just die down a little. Okay, I want to blend it with a brush. And also when you blend with your brush, you can sort of get an idea if you're starting to go too thick with your layers or not. And I'm thinking that I'm actually getting there. Cool, look at that. Now that's what I wanted to do. So we are getting there. Oh, the face is starting to look so soft. Stephanie, the more you layer, especially if you're layering that much with wax pencils, if you get to a point where you've layered too much, the waxy residue can move around a bit when you blend. So that's just something to keep an eye out for. So you can layer too much, or you can layer too thickly, and then yeah. But when that happens, it's not a problem. Just spray it with a textured fixative or a workable fixative, and leave it for about a day, and then you should be good to go to keep layering on top of that. So don't worry. What time is it by most of you guys? It should be getting pretty late now. Yeah, Maureen, the blue and purple in the sky are reflecting on his fur, and I am liking the blue and purple more than the reference, which is more purple and very little blue. And I am using the same colors as what I used in the background, so it's starting to work out just fine. Oh, Val, it's not too late by you. Okay, it's not too bad. 10:30 Canada, 8:30 Canada. Cool. I'm gonna add some black just under here. I'm gonna add a little bit of really dark black areas in parts of the fur on the side of the face here. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that for now and come back on Monday and carry on from there, because it's taking a lot longer than what I expected, but it's getting there. So, and I'm liking the blues. He's slowly starting to get there, and then I can add the detailing in the eyes and the snout, and he should start looking a little more realistic in that. Yep, same time. That's the full picture so far. And it is blending. The colors are working out quite nice. Thanks guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend too, and I will see you guys on Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.